Boy, oh boy.
Yeah. So, it has been a while indeed. But, perfectly good reason for that. Today we've got a great video coming up for you guys. You may not be able to see it, but... Yep, as the title suggests, we are going over the entirety of my Switch collection. Probably one of the more lengthier, meatier, girthier collections I have. Yeah, I'm just excited to show it off. I think this is a collection I'm arguably the most proud of because probably the most natural collection I've accrued as time has gone on, especially with just getting into video game collecting 3 years ago. There's a lot of like buying random things that I think would look cool, but this is from the dirt. This is from the era of no disposable income or very limited disposable income. All right, let's immediately dive into it. We're going to be working alphabetically as opposed to a in release order type thing because I did just sort these alphabetically about like 2 months ago. So just kind of be a little bit more effort than I want to actually do them the other way around. So, all right, without further ado, let's jump into it. Starting off, we got Bayonetta, Bayonetta 2, and Bayonetta 3. Now, the reason I grouped these together is because I had recently bought not even recently because it's been like 5 months now, but I had bought the Bayonetta 3 art book collection thing. It was like a deluxe edition of it. And so with that came these two covers for Bayonetta 1 and 2. I have been desperately trying to find 1 and 2 loose to actually make it so I don't just have fancy covers on my shelf. But as of now, that is all these are. They're just fancy covers. I do have the actual game of 3 in here. It's dope. It's a reversible cover, just like the other ones. I just reversed it because I like the aesthetic. I have one digitally because I was very excited to play one because I hadn't played Bayonetta before, so certainly not on the Wii U. But it's been good. It's been good. So moving on, we've got Bravely Default 2. Now, I've always been interested in Bravely Default as a series. Bravely Default it's kind of started my interest in Square Enix games. I wasn't really a Final Fantasy person until later on in life. I wouldn't even call myself a Final Fantasy person now, primarily because I've only played Final Fantasy 7, 10, and Bravely Default 2. Well, 2 hours of Bravely Default 2. I haven't beaten this yet. There's going to be a lot of that, actually. It's going to be a lot of I haven't beaten X and Y and Z yet. So it's an alright game. Got it for a pretty good price. Around like $30. So, yeah. Yeah. Not bad. I also really like its reversible cover art. A lot of the games I have for these, or the actual game itself, I keep in like a deluxe case thing right here. Yeah, so I just prefer to have them out like this. It's kind of how I did stuff with my DS, and I just got used to that, especially since it's cartridges. But all my other CD based consoles, which is the rest of them, all have the CDs within the case. So that's how I do it there. Moving on, we've got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, this comes from the early days of the Switch. No reversible cover. Ooh, it's white. Oh wow, it looked too white from. Okay, yeah, I didn't see the text. My fault, these. This game comes from a very early time in my Switch life, in my time as a Switch owner, because I really love Dragon Ball FighterZ. I had it on the PS4 way before I had it on the Switch, and I was like, man, I would love if this was on the Nintendo Switch. And then Bandai Namco was like, well, we can solve that for you. We can put fighters on the Switch if y'all buy this. Now, I played Xenoverse 1 casually, like secondhand, and I never played 2, so I was like, alright, like I might as well try 2. And I enjoyed it a lot. I think I put around like 30-40 hours into this game. I'm not sure if I even still have my save file because I now have a new Switch. But this this is pretty good. It's pretty alright, you know, good MMO. They pumped this thing full of content, and it's primarily because they were saving up for Sparking Zero, and I as well am saving up for Sparking Zero. Moving on, we've got Fire Emblem Engage. Now, there may be a Fire Emblem Engage. Ooh, there's these, and it actually has some pretty nice reversible cover art. Fire Emblem Engage is a game that I dunk on a lot, but I give its flowers, I feel, anytime I get even a little bit of pushback on it, because I don't want to just dunk on a game that I beat and I was like, you know what, I had fun when I was actually doing the meat and potatoes of what Fire Emblem is supposed to be, pre-Awakening, which is the tactical RPG-ness of it. I had a lot of fun with it. It was cool. It was awesome. The story is just like, the story is actually kind of bad in my opinion. The story is not great. You know, the writing is not great either. I feel like I just wasn't as drawn to, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's weird because I enjoy the story in Awakening. I haven't finished Fates. And this next game that's coming up is one of my favorite games of all time, primarily because I love its writing so much, as you can probably guess by the 1.5 hour video on the channel about this game, like half of a route from this game. But yeah, Engage it's whatever. Would I recommend it? Yeah, it's kind of alright, honestly. So you might be disappointed. If you're expecting something that's really good, you might be disappointed. But it's pretty alright. It's not bad for sure. Moving on, we have Fire Emblem 3. There we go. I was like, it's a little blocked out. 3 houses. 2 of them. Yeah, so this is the special edition of, or the Seasons of Warfare edition of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I got this in like March, I think, like in the earlier half of the year, and it does me really well to own a special edition of a game that I hold near and dear to my heart. This, of course, is the original case. I remember I bought this on Black Friday, right? And I was with my friend, my boy Elliot, and we were like, oh, like, you know, you've been talking about getting this game, like, you know, on and off. Because I was just scrolling through, you know, GameStop Black Friday deals, and I was like, oh, you know, I think 3 houses is like $30, either 30 or like $20. It was like actually pretty decently, you know, discounted. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I should just get it. And it was like a game time decision. It came down to me actually going to the store and being like, you know, I think I do want this. And definitely one of the better decisions I've made for sure. I would highly recommend you play this game. I've had friends play it and they hate it. I've had friends play it and they're like, it's okay, and then they just kind of drop it. But I like the fact that, you know, you even give it a try. Just give it a try, man. Just have a bite. Just have a nice little bite, please. Now, my next one I haven't dug into too much, but Hades. Hades is a game that's very critically acclaimed. If you know, spent some time in the gaming space for the past like 5-ish years, because I think it's pretty old now at this point. I haven't played too much of it. I think I've played about like 2 hours. I enjoyed it. Like I definitely want to go back to it eventually. And I have friends that love Hades, but funnily enough, this is not my copy. This was a trade-off with a friend, shout out Elliot, who is borrowing my copy of Metroid Dread, and he just, yeah, I got his copy of Hades, he's got my copy of Dread, and hopefully I beat Hades before I ask him for that copy back, because I will ask him for that copy back. Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I have not touched this, like, at all. And the thing with me not touching this is because I knew it wasn't going to be a game that I would even want to play, but I think it was like Best Buy's, because Best Buy has these things where they're like these days of game, or like either days of gaming or like days of like just tech or something. And Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle was like $10. And one of my boys, my friend Ryan, he was telling me, he was like, yo, you should get this game because it's only $10. And I know you already get a lot of Switch games. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's fair. So I was like, you know what? it's $10. I could take this towards a Chick-fil-A meal, or I could bring it towards Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And now I have a game that I could maybe play, but it's mostly just there for if my friends look at my shelf and they're like, oh, I want to play this for some reason, then it's here, you know. But yeah, I don't know if people like this game or not, and I feel like I'm just doing too much. Just let me know. But as of now, yeah. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This was the second game I ever got for the Nintendo Switch, and with this selling like what 60 million units or something, it's clear that a lot of people also got this as a starter Switch game. I don't have my copy anymore. I think a friend, I gave it to a friend, and they haven't given it back to me. So yeah, it's just really the case here. But I love Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I feel like I'm amazed in Mario Kart. I have a friend that's even better, Simon, if you've been watching the podcast. He's one of my co-hosts. He's amazing in Mario Kart. We go back and forth with it, and I would love to play it with him again sometime. But as of now, you know, that's all I got, just in case. All right, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. You can tell this bad boy is still in its wrapping. Man, I really don't want this to reflect off the light. You can tell this thing is still in its wrapping because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go get to this for a while. I don't want to just take it out the wrapping just because it's something I used to do. And then one of my friends was like, hey, why do you do that? And I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird actually. So, you know, copped it. I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter guy. I have a friend who's a huge Monster Hunter fan, Sam. Of course, if you watch the podcast, one of my co-hosts, you already know. And yeah, I just think it's one of those things that I want to at least give a try. So right now I own like 3 Monster Hunter games, so definitely want to get around to them eventually. So next up, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. This is actually 4th or 5th in the up next line after I finish the behemoth of a game I'm playing right now. But Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, I played the original Return to Dreamland on the Wii for a very brief period of time through a rental service. So I'd be very interested in actually finishing what I started, right, through this remake. And it was pretty cheap when I got it, so I was like, hey, might as well. So speaking of Kirby, we got Kirby Star Allies. Now, I didn't really think of myself as a huge Kirby person. I only played like Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby 1, and then Kirby 2 for the first time last year. And then I was like, you know, let me just keep playing different Kirby's games. I was like, let me get on Kirby Star Allies. Kirby Star Allies is a game that I played. It is something that I put time into, and I finished it, and I put it back on the shelf. There's not much to say about this one. I like the fact that it's a celebration of the series. I got a lot of the references. It was cool. It was cool for sure. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a huge Donkey Kong fan. Donkey Kong Country 2 is also one of my favorite games of all time. Tropical Freeze, I mean, by proxy of it being like tied with DKC2, honestly, in terms of quality, it's also up there. I got to play it again through this Switch ports because the first time I played was on the Wii U, and I was like, wow, crazy how they could make a platformer this good. And yeah, it's great. I highly recommend, if you're even a little bit interested in platformers, please get this game. You will not be disappointed at all. Moving on, we've got Persona 5 Royal. Alright, so I am currently playing Persona 5. I'm about 40 hours into it. It's actually what is currently on my TV over there, out of shot. And I've been loving this game. Of course, I know I'm in for a marathon, you know, a sprint right now, but I would say that it's been keeping my attention the entire time. I played the initial first 5 hours of it, and I was like, you know, it's cool, you know, I guess it's all right. And then eventually I got past that because the game doesn't really give you actual control of everything until like maybe like 6 to 8 hours in. And then eventually I was like, oh, this game is pretty good. So yeah, I like it. The Ryuji and Morgana stocks are down right now. The Kawakami stocks are up right now. You already know. Yeah, good game. Good game. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Now, I'm a Pokemon fan. Huge Pokemon fan. I'm not a huge fan of the Sinnoh games, except Platinum. I thought the original Diamond and Pearl were pretty good, of course, when I was a kid. And then I replayed them and I was like, these are not really my cup of tea. But I thought Platinum was a excellent third version. And I remember the controversy surrounding these games, whether or not they were taking from Platinum. That was a huge topic. And sadly, this game did not do that. But I mean, it took a couple things, especially some quality of life things that definitely got right. But would I recommend this as a Pokemon game? No, I would not. I would say definitely play the original Diamond and Pearl, especially since the original Diamond and Pearl are going down in price. It really is not a great sign when I can recommend the original DS game over the remaster that is way more easily accessible. But I would, primarily because they're both, you can honestly find both for about the same price now. Speaking of Pokemon, we've got Legends Arceus. Now, Legends Arceus is it's a neat, fun little adventure, open world. It shakes things up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Especially with, yeah, just how things, I would describe it as Pokemon Breath of the Wild. That's not a unique take at all, because a lot of people describe it that way. And yeah, so I actually have a friend who is probably the outlier in our group because he does not like it that much. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool for sure. I didn't catch Arceus. I definitely should do that, but this is definitely where I was kind of running a little bit low in terms of my enthusiasm for the franchise at this point. So, yeah, Legends Arceus. What a game. Got more Pokemon coming up. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. This was one of the early Switch era cops as well. I didn't get the low Pokeball Plus thing or whatever that came with it, but I enjoyed this game, I wasn't a huge fan of the catching mechanic, but I honestly didn't care that much because it still let me do what I like doing the most in Pokemon games, which is battle. It's basically just the third or the second. Yeah, I was about to say the third Kanto remake, but I was like, wait, Leaf Green would be the first. So yeah, it's basically a remake of Yellow, but it's our third time going through Kanto in a gen. So it's cool. It's cool. Would I recommend it? Yeah, actually. Because it's a really good casual Pokemon game, I feel. So if you know someone who maybe knows like 5 Pokemon max, this would be a great game for them. And I'm actually being serious. So, what would not be a great Pokemon game for someone would be this one. Now, Pokemon Scarlet. Pokemon Scarlet is a game that I had fun with it, but I can't in good consciousness recommend it to somebody because it's not a well-made game. It's all right in a lot of ways, but I like the fact that the dex is pretty good. The region, the things they do with the region's lore and the region's like structure is good. Graphics are horrible. The game is not well optimized. It doesn't really run well, but I'd be lying to say if I didn't have fun with it because the story was pretty good. And I know going to a Pokemon game for a story is like maybe walking into McDonald's and being like, wow, the Big Mac they made me was actually not bad. Moving on, we got Octopath Traveler 2. Now, I played Octopath Traveler 1 for a little bit. I didn't finish it. But Octopath Traveler 2, though, is a game that I don't have much to say because I haven't beaten the first one. And I think the second one is just more of the first one. So, no reverse art. I'm sorry. I've always been drawn to Octopath Traveler. which is why I had no issue with getting the sequel before I even beat the first one. That's just me. Yeah, we got more Pokemon. Pokemon Shining Pearl. It's the exact same game as Brilliant Diamond, pretty much. There's nothing else to say about this one. Pokemon Snap. Now, I liked Pokemon Snap as like a 5-year-old, you know what I'm saying? I was like, this is a 5, 6-year-old. I was like, this is a good game. And I was excited to try the remake. The remake is a little on the boring side, though, in my opinion. But hey, I guess Pokemon Snap just outlived it. It's kind of crazy because I remember people begging for a Pokemon Snap remake, and then we got one, and it just kind of ended up being underwhelming. So, Pokemon Sword. Yeah, we actually got a lot of Pokemon games here. So, yeah, Pokemon Sword is it's a game. I actually like Defending Galar more than I should, probably, because I think that Sword and Shield was quite ambitious, but it fell short primarily because of time constraints. Was it as ambitious as Scarlet and Violet? No, not really, but I would enjoy playing this game more than I enjoy playing Scarlet and Violet, but that's not really saying much because, I mean, yeah. Which one would I recommend compared to Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet? Probably Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield, in my opinion, but hey, that's just my opinion. Pokken Tournament DX. Now, I was very drawn to Pokken Tournament when it first came out on the Wii U. So when the port was released for the Switch, I was like, whoa, sign me up. And I got it for a pretty good price, too. It was like $40. But now every Switch game you see on the aftermarket is like $40 now. So, what is there to say about this one? It's just Pokemon, but it's like Pokemon Tekken, you know what I'm saying? It's not bad. Oh, it's not bad, but it's I wouldn't really say it was my cup of tea at the end of the day, because I only visited it once, and I put it down. So kind of goes to show how that works. Pokemon Violet. This is my actual copy. I should have mentioned Scarlet is my brother's, so I played through Violet. I liked the futuristic aspect of the Gen 9 games more than anything else. But yeah, so the only differences between Scarlet and Violet is the fact that you have different exclusive Pokemon like you normally do in every other Pokemon game. But there's also these regional forms that are also different between the two. So like future and past forms. That's not what they're called, but still. Yeah. It's same game. Rune Factory 4. Now, this is one of my favorite pickups, primarily because it's got a manual inside. When was the last time you opened up a game and it had like an actual manual instead of like a voucher for like a code or like DLC or like an ad? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I haven't played Rune Factory 4. I have a friend who loves Rune Factory 4, and I can't wait to at least give it a try. Give it a try one of these days. So, Sea of Stars. Now, Sea of Stars is something that I haven't played yet as well. I know. I buy a lot of games I don't play. Crazy. But Sea of Stars is something that I've also been drawn to because a lot of people have been like, this is an amazing RPG. It's probably one of the best RPGs we've gotten in a while. And I was like, I'm willing to test that. And nice little, I think there's a poster. So nice little poster that comes with it. No reversible art, but oh well. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, Sea of Stars. Monster Hunter Rise. Now, there was a whole period of time where a lot of people in our friend group were playing Monster Hunter Rise. We were all getting together, doing quests and all that jazz. And that's my fondest memory from this game. I haven't touched it in a while, but I do want to revisit it, primarily because it's, you know, a Monster Hunter that Capcom is stuck with in terms of content and all that jazz, and I'm just interested in doing more with it. Next up, I'm slowly becoming a Persona fan. I might as well slowly become an SMT fan. It's funny because I played SMT 5 before I played Persona 5, as you can obviously tell. But I was drawn to the fact that this had a lot of hype surrounding it, and the Steelbook edition was like the same price as the actual regular version of the game. And I love Steelbooks. I'm a sucker for Steelbooks. If you turn your game into a Steelbook, there's like a 90% chance I'm buying it. So, the game itself is pretty good. So I was a bit thrown off initially by the way it works in terms of recruiting monsters and all that jazz, but I like it. I like it for sure. It's something I need to revisit, especially with Vengeance coming back out. I know you don't need to play this to play Vengeance, but still, it's not bad. I like it. Skyrim. I'd never played Skyrim until I played the Switch version. That sounds like it would be painful. And it really wasn't that bad, honestly. First cover. I was gonna say I was not expecting that. But I had not played Skyrim until I bought it on the Switch, and I had a fun time with it. I think I put around 20 hours into Skyrim. But it was a lot of just messing around, doing whatever honestly on here. And will I revisit it? Probably not. Sometimes I think about it, but I'm like, I don't really feel like playing Skyrim right now. So yeah, it's one of those games where I feel like you gotta at least try, but I don't think it's aged the best, honestly. So moving on, we got Sonic Colors Ultimate. I grew up being a huge Sonic Colors fan. I first played Sonic Colors on the DS. I played the DS version because it's basically Sonic Rush 3, and I love Sonic Rush. But Sonic Colors Ultimate showed me that there is such a thing as having a bad port, because I don't think I had played a bad port or a bad remaster. Sorry, my fault. Bad remaster until I came across this game, because it's just really inferior. The glitches are kind of bad, honestly. I'm the biggest fan of Sonic Colors Ultimate. I feel like if you really want to enjoy this game, please just play the Wii version or the DS version. I think the DS version is very underrated, but I have enough sense to admit that maybe it's not the best version of the game, right? But yeah, moving on to games that are not good. We've got Sonic Forces. Now, Sonic Forces is one that I was mad excited for. I was mad excited for it. I pre-ordered it. I got the little skins for the Joy-Cons and everything, as it says on the bottom corner here. Now you can find this game for like $10, and they bundled it with everything. They bundled it with Super Monkey Ball. They bundled it with Team Sonic Racing. This game is an anniversary title for the franchise. It was supposed to be the next big Sonic game, and it fell flat on its face in mediocrity. It's just mid. It's just really, really mid. And that's the thing that sucks the most about it, because it shouldn't be this mid, but it is. And that's just something I couldn't forgive out of this, especially after just the embarrassment that you go through, that you partake in as a Sonic fan. It sucks to encounter a game that you hype up and for it to be mid. It's even worse when it's a Sonic game. That's what I think. Moving on, we got Splatoon 2. Now, this is also another early Switch cop. I was at the height of my Splatoon fever during this game, so I was playing with friends all the time. I was getting into matches by myself, which is a rarity when it comes to multiplayer games with me. And yeah, I really like Splatoon 2. It's one of those games that, unfortunately, because of the next entry that I have, kind of is not talked about anymore. But I liked everything about Splatoon 2. I liked its vibe, its atmosphere, its story, the weapons it introduced. I liked everything about it. So it was good. In terms of Splatoon 3, I have not played this that much. I thought I was gonna play it a lot, but I did not end up doing that. I personally would have just preferred it if they just stuck with Splatoon 2. But having a Splatoon 3, I guess, is it's not bad. I'm not the best person to go to for Splatoon stuff, so Sam is the best person to go to for that, as I mentioned before in the video. But yeah, so pretty nice reversible cover stuff. Not bad. But yeah. Woo! Sonic Superstars. I like this cover a lot. That's where me liking something about this game ends, because it's just mid. It's just really, really mid. I don't know why Sega is so insistent on making Classic Sonic the second pillar of Sonic, because the only thing Classic Sonic has done since Mania is just churn out mid after mid after mid. There was Sonic Origins, which of course was more like a bundle collection thing, so I don't really blame it that much for being like, all right, this is kind of just but Sonic Superstars is something that is really not worth your time at all. I regret playing this game, which is very insane for me to say. I don't think I've said that about many games, but I regret playing this game because I could have just played something else. I hadn't finished Wonder yet by the time I picked up this game, and I was like, I could have just been finishing Wonder this entire time. So, yeah, it's not it. So, speaking of Super Mario Brothers Wonder, yeah, baby. This is a solid game. It's a solid game for sure. The appeal has kind of worn off a little bit recently as time has gone on. You know, people have been like, okay, that was cool, but it just shows the shackles that New Super Mario Brothers had on this franchise to the point where we were begging and just pleading with Nintendo to give us something different. And I'm really glad they did. Wonder is a blast. The level design is spectacular, actually. It's incredible. Best in a 2D Mario game, period. And the power-ups are really nice. They're cool. You know, stories anything to write home about, but you're playing a Mario game, so dog. But yeah, this is good. This is good. Definitely highly recommend if you want something fun, especially something fun to play with other people, because co-op Mario is always a fun time. So. Moving on, we got Super Mario Odyssey. Now, Odyssey is also another early Switch cop. This game was bought for me. So, speaking of, I actually have 2 cases of Super Mario Brothers Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey. There's no brothers in there. Super Mario Odyssey, which is strange because I don't own 2 cartridges of the game, but I have 2 cases. It feels like it randomly showed up in my home one time. So, Super Mario Odyssey is... It's a great game, great 3D Mario game. It's another issue or case like Wonder where there's just a lot of creativity being thrown around. A lot of moments where I'm like, okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. You can turn into a T-Rex, and at the very end is a really nice thing you can do with the whole, you know, possessing people with Mario's hat thing, which is very insane to say out loud now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Boom! I feel like this is a staple in any Switch player's library, any Switch owner's library. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best Smash Bros. Game in my opinion. Some people will say it's Melee, some people incorrectly will say it's 4. But I think Smash Ultimate is great, not only because of course, the fact that there's every single character in the franchise, or the franchise ever touched or experimented with, is in this game. It also is just a blast to play. I feel like the speed of gameplay is perfect. Everything about it is just great. I would highly recommend it as a party game too. So if you really want to play with other people, it's great. I was on my collegiate Smash team back in the day. So that was something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I'm reminded of every time I pick up this game. I don't have it with me currently. My lovely, lovely girlfriend has it, so that's where we're at with that. So, but yeah, Smash Bros. Ultimate. What a game! What a game! All right, Tales of Symphonia Remastered. This is a remaster of a GameCube RPG. I have not played this game yet, but it's another instance where it's like Best Buy deals. You already know, a game I'm interested in. How to pick it up, how to cop. Yeah, I know nothing about this game, so I'm very excited to play this. That's all I pretty much gotta say. I know people have said the remaster is not good, but this will be my first time going through the game, period, so I don't know if it's a remaster is not good because these things are different, or remaster is not good because it makes the game bad. But we'll see later. So if you're curious, there's nothing. There's no reversible, nothing. We got Unicorn Overlord. Now, I had been teased relentlessly about the title of this game was when discussing with people, and then I have to like actually explain that, oh no, it's It's like a mythical, medieval. Medieval is the right word for that. Medieval RPG, and it doesn't cease the taunting. But good game. I know I said I don't like these pamphlet things, but at this point I'm thirsty for anything. So, you know, this is cool, I guess. But I haven't played this game either. I know nothing about it. I have a friend who loves it. But yeah, I'm hoping that it's basically 2D Fire Emblem again. You feel me? But just in this nice little Atlas package. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles. Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition, right? Yeah, the definitive edition. So Xenoblade Chronicles is a game that I also have no experience with. I did not play the Wii version. I did not play the new 3DS version. But I've always wanted to play it since Shulk got into Smash Brothers. That's also a cool thing I love about the Smash series, because it just lets you be exposed to all these different franchises. I have a friend who is just like me, has only played little of this game, but he has loved the little that he's fallen in love. He loves the little that he's played. He's fallen in love with it. And I really want to fall in love with it as well. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. What a game that I haven't touched yet. Moving on, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, I caught this primarily because the physical versions have been so hard to find, I feel, especially early on. I don't know if that's the case right now, though, because I really stopped looking until I came across a good old post on Facebook Marketplace for this game for $40. And I was like, you know what? Let me get to it. A lot of people outside the Xenoblade fan base don't like this game. Yeah, so after I finish Xenoblade 1, I'll obviously play this, but that's a later type thing. So, ooh, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now this, ladies and gents, was the first Switch game I ever owned. It was a blast to play through. I mean, this is iconic at this point. Everything about this game is just iconic. It's not my favorite game of all time. I wouldn't even say it's like up there. It's not even my favorite Zelda game of all time, if I'm being honest. But I do appreciate what it's done for gaming, and I do appreciate what it's done for a console that I consider to be my second favorite console of all time in the Nintendo Switch. So, yeah, no, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Fantastic game. Highly recommend. If you're getting a Switch, this is probably the #1 game I'd put up there in terms of a just get this. And it's crazy that it was a launch title. And even towards the end of the Switch's life cycle, I'm recommending the first game that they ever released for this thing as a game that you should pick up first. It's crazy. Yeah, moving on to more Zelda stuff. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. I played Skyward Sword for maybe like 10 minutes through a rental company back when I was younger, and I wanted to get a chance to play this game again. I started it. I realized, I'm not really in the mood for this. Plus, it's just, there's not really any of the sauce that the other Zelda games have, so I put it down real quick. Ooh, they kind of faked it out here, so, but yeah, no, good reversible. Yeah, I'll get back to it eventually, because I do want to actually properly play this game, but as it stands right now, it's not getting touched. It's not getting touched. Oh, we're back at our more Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Alright, so 25 hours into this game, right? I got this for a graduation present when I graduated college last year, and I definitely really liked what I saw from this game. It felt a lot like more Breath of the Wild. I've met a ton of people, actually, who are in the same boat as me, that played Breath of the Wild, finished it, loved it, but then played this, were like, I'm liking this too, but didn't finish it. Which is something that I definitely have to analyze. Who knows, maybe later. But yeah, this has been a good one. I definitely want to get back to this. Is definitely something that's more on the get back to scale than something like this. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. We're almost there. We're almost at the end. I just realized that this has not really been as alphabetical as I thought. I kind of took them off the shelves, just pop them around. But yeah, Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. Great game. I'm about halfway through it, more than halfway through it. My brother's currently playing through this one right now. I really liked it, especially as someone who never played the 1,000-Year Door. And yeah, I just want to say that I would highly, highly recommend that you give it a shot, because people say this is the best Paper Mario game by a landslide, because every other Paper Mario game before this one that I've heard discussed online are games that people are constantly moaning about and crying about. So yeah, might as well start with a high note. So, and finally, Yoshi's Crafted World. I almost said Woolly World. Yoshi's Crafted World. Yeah, this is a game I have not played either. So, as many of you could probably guess, since cartridge is still in here, intact, all that jazz. Cartridge is still in here too, but this game is something that will bring me into the Yoshi franchise, because I've never played a Yoshi game ever. Not even Yoshi's Island DS or Woolly World, like I almost said. So, yeah, this is the last one. And so, that brings us towards the end of the video. The Switch has definitely been a really fun console to collect for. I really am looking forward to collecting for it some more eventually. As of right now, I'm pretty content with my collection, especially because I've played a sizable amount of these, but I want to, as the Switch phases out and goes into its twilight years, I want to definitely get around to the rest of this. So my goal is to do that before they reveal the Switch 2, or at least before it comes out. So, but what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Share with me some of your Switch games that you really like, or some Switch games from your collection that you're really proud of having. I would love to discuss with you guys and take that even further. But as we stand right now, this is where we got to part ways. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all later.